All right, how's it going, folks? Now, I have made an hour video regards to social credit, and I made that video. I'll put the links below. I made that video straight after I came back from China. A bit about myself. I'm classified as APC, which means I'm Australian-born Chinese. I did stay in China 3 years when I was a kid. I've been going to China, not this year, but the previous 2 years I've been going to China. One is for Beijing, one is in Shanghai. And my hometown will be Shantou, which is in Guangdong province. And you guys may know of Guangzhou. Anywho, I believe it's a good thing. Now, here's the video, right? Now, there's many, okay, let's just say China has the world's largest population. China has so many problems that in the past they're trying to solve and to minimize. But what the action they did in the past couldn't succeed the outcome. Now, I recently spoke to one of my international student is from China. I can't say China. I have to say Fujian province, right? That's between China. And he stated that with the social credit, the goal is to crack down loopholes or tax avoidance, which is a very common thing in China. Having the social credit will detect, will pinpoint, and will resolve a name and shame. There's many things that has happened. China has many ethnic background. I'll Google it while I'm doing this. There's many ethnic background, and ethnic backgrounds There's many ethnic backgrounds, 56 ethnic backgrounds minority in China at the moment. They all have, whether they have different religion, different culture, different tradition, different social norms. They have everything is different. The way how they eat is different. The way how they speak is different. But obviously we have our main language, which everyone can communicate. Majority, I can't say all of them, is Mandarin, right? So you have all of them. And Chinese people love loopholes, love to get away things. And very smart on loopholes, on making money and finding ways to... They're very good at finding ways, the way out. And when they do find out, they spread to everyone. And when they do, then everyone take advantage and making it from a very, very, what is that word? From a good Sumatra to a bad Sumatra. Let's just put it that way. So it's a punishment for it. Now you have all these groups, and Chinese, look, one thing I admire for Chinese people, they not only just do it in their country, but they also try to take advantage and do it in other countries as well. Now, that is something that Chinese people really admire, which you only can see Chinese people around the world, where Chinatowns around the world, and many Chinese people, you see them as hardworking, whether they do business or whether they close down business, whether they buy houses, whether the kids go to university, whether the kids are good tutoring, whether the kids go to piano, whether the kids are hypergamy, whether the kids are like very, very high socioeconomic, whether the kids are like singing that they're all rich. There's reason behind. So you have that. You see, there's many social problems in China. Whether the problems is hard for government to tackle. Now, the first link that I put on this video, one of the area is child kidnapping. In China, child kidnapping is, I can't say common, but it's a huge problem. What they do, guys people, kidnappers, they go around the street, they find potential kid, they Snapchat, they put on the motorbike or the bicycle or in the van. and smuggle them out. Sort of like a terrorist style, if you can image it through your head. So you have that. And there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of forgery going on in China. Regardless, from foods, there's fake rice, fake eggs, and fake milk powder. That's the reason why they go around to the first world countries to get the best of the best milk powder, because they're a lot more guaranteed, which is made in or whatever country it is, instead of taking a risk for forgery or scam, where a lot of them, I can't say all of them, but it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake, because they know how to make it to mimic the real of the realist. And you got that as well. So a lot of my missus been telling me Chinese people are selfish. We are selfish in a way because we have been, we don't trust each other. We've been going out to advance to trust other first world countries because we know they're true. That's why we value their brands. We'll do anything. iPhones is one of the biggest in the world. Sold the most is in China. And you have that. China is good at opening its own ideas and technologies and things like that. It's open to new things. So you have that. There's so many social problems that the government couldn't control or maintain. And they try to tackle it, but it's always unsuccessful. Therefore, having the social credit will allow them. Now, I know you came to this video and say, Will, this is so George Orwellian. I can't believe you believe in this. I can't believe you're saying this. I watched this news organization talking about this, talk about that organization. It's like reliving the 1984 video. Is that the 86 video? And things like that. And I'm not going to say you're wrong or right, but you have to understand why it's implemented in the first place, in China especially. And there's a Asian boss video on my second link on the channel. We'll show the locals what they think about, how they change their social behavior, things like that. Now I know you guys are going to say, well, they have to say yes, or else the Communist Party will, will get them a bad rating or things like that. Should try to name and shame the system. But to be honest with you, there's a lot. If you haven't been to China, then you wouldn't have any idea what's it like. China is one of the most difficult places. Even for myself, I can't even do it. Trust me. But what I hear from my parents is you have a laugh, but in reality, it happens. And it's just a way of trying to maintain a better country, and as well, many tourists, Chinese, or you guys call it mainlanders, go to overseas and they behave really badly in public. And because in China it's classified as normal. And they bring in that their cultural norms or sort of bad behavior to other countries, and they see that's normal. So you have that. Having this, credit scores, they're so good they can take advantage of scores, think they can make it or can bribe it. So having a social credit will eliminate all of them. Social credit makes it harder or make it close to impossible for these AI cameras and things like that. When I look at this, is Michel Foucault. We cannot just, death penalty constantly or beheading people wouldn't solve a problem. Instead of that, let's have a community or the country to see what's good and what's bad. And having a social credit for China is the way to make the local and the people to say, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. This is wrongdoing and things like that. So therefore, that's why I said the social credit is a brilliant thing for China. Now, what's the motive behind on saying, oh, they on Uyghur people, this and that? I got no comment on that. That's not my expertise. But what I can say is that having the social credit is up to what the government wants. They like to see the country outcome. You see, China doesn't have Google or Facebook. Yeah, and you can't even access pornography on websites. You cannot. It's all bad. So to me, I see that China is trying to promote a very functional, traditional family values within kept strong family country. They just abolished one child policy. It's an aging society. And they're soon to be a superpower. So having the social credit will behave everyone. With Michelle Foucault, name and shame, try to change the social norm according to what the government wants for the country. And work effectively. And that's how we introduce cameras, laws, penalties, and things like that. So for you, you do not do it again. For example, car fine. I got a parking fine yesterday. Didn't read carefully. You know, they introduced parking fines, this area, that area, that area. If you park your car in this certain area, next time you won't do the same thing. So sort of that sort of sense. So it's hard for people, and it's easy to manipulate it by the Western media. But like I said, there's always a motive behind. I'm not saying you're 100% wrong about it. What I'm trying to say is that the government decides what's best for the country, what suits the country. That's what matters to them. And having the social credit will fulfill that gap in the whole. Citizens to do right thinking, right doing. And it's going to be harsh penalty, because whether they take away their freedom or their privacy, they have to go to that extent to order to fix the whole society.